Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the man who leads the 8-2 Vikings, who have a big one against the Chicago Bears this weekend. I believe he just got off a Peloton. This man's in phenomenal shape. He's a former player, great jawline, super attractive, but also a massive football brain. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, coach.
What's up, man?
Hate to say it, man. Peloton is collecting some dust as over these last few days.
Oh no! What do we do? Do you do any working out throughout the season? It get difficult? Do you put on a bunch of weight? What is normally the MO for this time of year?
No, I try to get whatever I can, but no, it's you get into November, December, it just kind of feels like any and all time where I can be with my family. I'm going to be doing that. And then I'm with my family here in this beautiful building pretty much every other moment of my existence, which I absolutely love.
Well, that's head coach of a football team. There's only 32 of them. You happen to be a phenomenal one. Still up for AP's vote, AP Tone's vote for Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to let you know that we have an AP vote in the building. He wears a cowboy hat every day. He is actually in control of one of the votes for the AP. You are on the watch list still. Just have you know that. And so all the time you're spending away from your family, well worth it. Yeah. Well worth it in AP Tone's eyes. And obviously, a lot of coaches are having a great year. You guys are no exception. Let's chit-chat about it. We pulled some stats about your team. And obviously, it's very easy to talk about Justin Jefferson. I think I saw you give an answer about Justin Jefferson the other day about how if you were playing basketball, it was 5-on-5. Imagine if three of the people on the other team were just focusing on one of your players. That is kind of what's happening with Justin Jefferson. He still produces, and your offense is still able to do that. But there's a stat that we found that I think is really a glorious one. The Vikings ranked number one in the NFL with 16 interceptions in 21 takeaways on defense. First in allowing only 74.4 rushing yards per game and have held opponents scoreless in 17 quarters this season, which is number one in the NFL. Can you tell me about why this year's Vikings team, with how this defense is doing, is poised for an actual run? They're doing historic stuff right now, Coach.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that just because – Pat, it's one of those things where, we've probably not played a total complete game truly yet. You can make an argument the Houston game earlier in the year was close. But I would say our defense and forcing those turnovers, that doesn't count a ton of fourth down stops when teams are trying to drive the ball to, late in the game to recapture the lead against us. And our guys are just stepping up. It's an unbelievable collection of unique players, a great defensive coordinator in Brian Flores, and a great defensive staff. But it's awesome on a daily basis to just watch those guys work. And then on game day, between the veteran presence of a guy like Harrison Smith and new additions that we added to the defense this year, Grenard, Van Ginkel, Cashman, and then the three corners stepping up and really solidifying a position that we're in some turmoil at times with some things that have taken place here. Feel great about the defense, feel great about our ability to compete because of those guys, and we're gonna find a way to play our best football here down the stretch, which is something kind of 3 years into this job was a real goal of mine coming into this year, was to progressively build. Even when nobody thought we were going to be very good, I didn't really care. It was just about working and trying to get better because my belief in this team's always been there.
Thanksgiving's next week, and everything you're saying kind of echoes the sentiment that Bill Belichick always said. It's the football after Thanksgiving where you got to be playing your best, have your best team, and matters the most. Sounds like you guys are trending in that direction. Let's talk about the offensive side now that obviously your big-ass brain is in charge of. J.J. McCarthy news happens before the season, so we're basically told, okay, Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback for this Minnesota Vikings team. And I think J.J. got another surgery. Godspeed, brother. Godspeed in recovery for all of that. That's no fun. Anytime they got to cut you open, there's obviously things that can happen. Hopefully he comes back full go. Where do you stand with Sam Darnold right now? Just, I don't want to say personal relationship, but how do you think you and Sam Darnold have grown this year, and what have you seen out of Sam?
Yeah, I think Sam's done so many great things. Year one in the system, kind of taking him from where he was at in his career. This guy started a lot of games and coming into this offense and really just having him focus on the day-to-day and the minute-to-minute. And Sam's really talented. He's pushed the ball all over the field. We've been pretty darn explosive with him at the helm. Clearly there's been some times where we've had, maybe been too aggressive and had some decisions backfire from a standpoint of turnovers, but not without having some real moments of growth. And I thought he played one of his best games of the season against, a really good Tennessee defense last week. One of the best fronts in football. Those interior guys are no joke, good edge players. On the road, just kind of running the show, resolving conflict, taking plays when they were there, just spitting a bunch of completions out there to some pretty darn good players on the perimeter. And I think it was big time growth for Sam. And now it's just about stacking it. He's had some real stretches of high level football, and how consistent can I be coaching him is the most important thing, because I know I'm going to get the best out of Sam here down the stretch, and it's going to help our team.
Justin Jefferson, obviously phenomenal, but there's a tight end, too, that is obviously chatted about a lot. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Coach, you talk about, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and that wideout room is loaded, but you get T.J. Hawkinson back a few weeks ago. How big has that been for the offense with, him going down the middle a ton?
Yeah, I think, you saw it a little bit versus Jacksonville a couple weeks ago when, we're getting some pretty unique coverages where TJ's getting, drawing a lot of linebackers in coverage and, winning in the middle of the field. That middle of the field kind of inside out passing game has always been a huge part of what we do. And it's grown bigger just as we've kind of experienced the inventory of coverages that Justin gets and Jordan gets. So having TJ back's been huge. I do think Josh Oliver has had a phenomenal year, just from a standpoint of being a true blocking Y that impacts the pass game. There's just not a lot of guys like that walking the face of the earth, and he's been really good for us. But having TJ back, I think half of his targets have been kind of third down conversions or close to it since he's been back. It's a big part of our team, Pat, and it's a great question, because if we can really find that balance between all of those guys and still run the football with Aaron Jones, who's been a huge impact for our team, I think we're going to have the kind of balance, couple that with our defense playing well and doing some good things in the kicking game. I like where we're at.
Hey, on that note, shout to the kicking game. Amen. But you just mentioned the running back there that you guys added in the offseason. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, you guys are 8-0 when you're out rushing your opponents, and you're also, I think, plus 420 in rushing yards differential, which is sixth best in the NFL. As a Packers fan, obviously, I knew what Aaron Jones was going to be. I don't think anyone thought he was really going to fall off. But how important has he been to the offense to kind of unlock a new dimension? Because it seems like you guys are kind of leaps and bounds better in that department than you have been in years past.
Yeah, Aaron's made a huge impact. It's one thing. He gets credit for being so versatile, having an impact in the pass game, and we've thrown him a bunch of different kind of routes and concepts that not a lot of running backs are doing. And that's great, and that's huge, but Aaron Jones is a really, really good runner. And I think his vision, his toughness, he's not the biggest guy in the world, but his play style is off the charts. His vision, all the things that made him so hard to play against, playing for your Packers for so many years, having such an impact. It was why I was so excited to get him here. And then you actually get him in your building and you realize what an unbelievable human being and just how he's kind of taken what I think is a pretty darn good culture around here. Aaron Jones has made it better. He's made this building better. We are so fortunate to have him on our team, and he's had a huge impact, no doubt.
They say his vibes are immaculate.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, has that remained? I know Green Bay's cold, but I ain't never been in a colder place than Minnesota. Ooh. We had our first snowfall here in Indianapolis this morning. We woke up, there's snow on the ground. How is it over there? I see you're in a puffer jacket in your office. Is it is it already? Are we already at that point in Minnesota?
We are at that point as we speak, about to head out to, practice to get ready to play outside in Chicago. I know they got some snow today. Don't know what Sunday is going to be like, but our boys will be ready to roll. Not something we're not used to around here, but I will say, very fortunate to have U.S. Bank Stadium about 10 miles away from where I sit right now. Very fortunate.
What year was that? Brett Favre was playing, I think, when they had to play outside at Gophers. I think we all remember, all of us. Yeah. We were all in different parts of the country right there. We all responded. We're like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we remember that. I mean, it gets cold as shit in Minnesota. I wonder why. Why is it? Why is it so cold there versus other places?
Land of 10,000 lakes? I don't know.
So it's lake effect everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. North is shit.
It is north as shit.
It's like Canada, basically.
There's a lot of north as shit places. It feels like Minnesota just really gets the cold. Anyways, beautiful town, though.
Beautiful.
The whole place is connected in tunnels because of it being cold as shit. You can walk Not the. We're talking like malls or in condos.
Okay.
Elevated.
Elevate. Yeah.
Buzzword for me. Sue me.
Yeah, I get it. AJ has a question for you, KOC.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned you guys have not played a complete game yet, and obviously you guys are 8-2. So, I guess is that something you address with your team when you speak to them? Hey, like we haven't put everything together yet, but ultimately that's a great thing. If we still have 8 wins and we haven't even really figured out how to put it all together, is it something that you think is trending in the right direction?
Yeah, it's exactly, very similar to my message this week was really in a way where I think we've become a mature team because we figured out unique ways to win. We've had different sides of the ball, and our defense step up huge in games where we haven't put the ball in the end zone enough or have had more turnovers than we would like when we're moving the ball all day. There's been multiple times where the defense has had kind of a closer's mentality, which has been huge. But I think it's a challenge to the group and understand that we all feel very fortunate to have the group we do. These guys love playing with one another and working like we're doing each and every week. But what does it really mean if we can't go out and put it all together consistently? Because down the stretch here, that's what you're going to need to do. There's a lot of really good teams in the NFC. We're going to have to play really good football down the stretch here to put a stamp on a year that we all should be proud of, but at the same time means absolutely nothing right now, in my opinion. And that's where I do think we got the right kind of guys, and I think our best ball is in front of us, as you kind of navigate November, December, which, I do believe has been in my mind probably from Coach Belichick, but also looking back on what we've been here over the first 2 years of my career here. It's something that I made a note of it coming into this year. It's been part of our process, and we've talked about it. But as I told the team, the time is now.
Your time is up. Our time is now.
Yeah.
Shout out John Cena.
Yep.
I didn't know you're quoting John Cena there too. I love that.
I was inspired by getting a chance to see that WrestleMania from you, man. That was unbelievable.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. I saw you were forced to watch that because we put you on the call and then we were running that video. So we apologize for that, but we did get to see your reaction during it. I live the dumbest life of all time, brother. I mean, that is just a matter of fact. Very lucky to do a lot of the things that I've gotten to do, including play in the NFL because I get a chance to listen to great leaders speak, and Chuck will have a question for you about that here in a matter of moments. But for me, I wonder for you, how long are you talking to the team? How often do you talk to the team? And like night before game, what is the speech? Is it a Gipper or like what is your style when chatting with the team? Because obviously you've been in the audience for a lot of those.
Yeah, I think the night before the game is really important. If you've had any kind of consistency to your messaging all week, it's a great opportunity to put a stamp on it, put a bow on it, and make sure these guys wake up with total confidence and clarity to go play and be at their best. And I talk a lot about what it's going to take to win the game early in the week. Try to give them tangible, real things versus each opponent that I think is important. And then you got to have that post game. Real talk where, you highlight a lot of really good things, and there's been plenty of that for, an 8-2 football team. But at the same time, it's also important that you're honest and you're real and you're authentic every single day. I'm sure you talk to Justin or TJ or Harrison Smith, they'd probably say they've heard about enough of me, but that's the beauty of being the head coach, man. If I put team meeting on the board, they got to show up. Otherwise, there's going to be consequences, and they got to listen to me talk all day long. And until they tell me otherwise, that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, you got a full crowd anytime you speak, anytime you want.
Hell yeah.
Anytime you want, especially if you have a good culture. You got everybody showing up on time, hopefully, which has creeped into professional sports.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Have you heard about this? There's like people that are late to team meetings and yeah, exactly. You have not heard.
Don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's not a real thing, but that's happening in professional sports. Other places, obviously not in your culture. Let's talk about your culture. You think you're funny, KOC? You think you're some funny guy? I see what's happening over your shoulder up there. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, please put him. What's this, KOC? What's this here? Oh, that just so happens to be hanging over? That just so happens to be in the shot? What game was that, KOC?
That was one of the worst coaching halves I've ever been a part of in the first half. So what you don't see is on the back of that ball, it says the 33-0 first half score of that game. But the part you can see it does happen to be the greatest comeback in
Smart.
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
Yeah, and I like that you keep the side that's good for you,
Yep.
Because there's some people out there that would have the bad side out there.
Yep.
Ruined Jeff Saturday's career.
yeah.
You did. You ended Coach Saturday's career. Hope you're happy.
sweet prince.
Hope you're happy, Kate.
He's very excited that you did.
Now, speaking of coaching, a coaching change was made on the other side. Chuck has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, the Bears have moved on from Shane Waldron a week ago, and Thomas Brown is now calling the offensive plays for them. It looked to me, at least from what I saw, like the run game was a little bit better. They were a little bit more efficient on offense. Quarterback looked to be playing in rhythm. How big a challenge is this to you and your team, and specifically Brian Flores and that defense, as far as, like, I don't know how much you can change at this point, with your play calls and your terminology and things like that, but what kind of challenges do you face?
Yeah, Coach, it's I saw the same thing you did. Just from a standpoint of there was a real mindset to get playmakers involved early with some, kind of ball out plays where, you can get DJ Moore multiple touches. You clearly got Swift in the run game going, which he's as talented of a back as I think we have in our league. He's a really good player, and they've got, Keenan Allen. They've got Rome on the outside, who clearly has a great rapport with Caleb as rookies that come in together. And then I just think Cole Kmet and working the inside of the field, they've got multiple weapons. And then a quarterback who, let's face it, studying that group last year, it was a great quarterback group. There's a reason why Caleb was the first pick in the draft, and everybody in this league is so excited about him because the talent, his ability to play on schedule, off schedule. I think he's seeing the field like all young quarterbacks do. They grow throughout the season and experience, different things than what they experience in college. I think he played really well last week, put them right in position to be a field goal away from beating a really good Green Bay Packers team. So I think Thomas Brown did a really good job, and it's going to be a challenge because I know Thomas well, coached with him in LA. He's built he's going to build it no matter how much time he has leading into this opportunity. He's going to build it with really good principles of offensive football, starting with the run game, making life easy on the quarterback when he can. And when those weighty downs come around, they've got skill players all over the map to, throw the football to and make it hard on you. So I know Flo and our defense are, really looking at this game as they do pretty much every week in this league, but they're looking at this as a major, major challenge to go on the road and defend a group like this.
And I assume Caleb Williams is viewing this as a major, major challenge of a B-Flow defense that is obviously humming. Can't wait to watch it. Who's your special teams coordinator? I should know. Who is it?
Matt Daniels.
Is he going to do the double push over the long snapper?
You should think about it.
To block field goal? Seems like that's available.
It works.
Against the Chicago Bears. What an ending. 2 weeks walk-off block kicks, Coach.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, it just goes to show that when we as coaches stand up there and I know Coach Pagano can vouch for this. It's got to be 60 minutes and sometimes more. It takes everything you got, and if you never know when that one play is going to happen where you either don't have the play style or the technique fundamentals, and your opponent shows up and makes a play, it could change the whole day. It just so happened that was the last play of the game, and a huge play as we saw it in the NFC North. They're all going to be close. All the teams in our division are good, talented football teams, physical football teams. So it's going to take everything you got as an organization, especially when you're going on the road trying to get a win. So we know that. And we know what we're signing up for, and we got to go do it.
8-2, second in the NFC North.
Yeah.
8-2, obviously behind the Lions. Whenever you say the NFC North is good, and Coach, the play don't care.
Who makes it?
That's right. I've heard that from Chuck about 1,000 times. It's not every play is going to be the play that's going to bust it open, but the play that's going to matter, don't care who makes it. And
That's Franco Harris. All he said when he caught the immaculate reception was, "I was just hustling."
Right.
And I was at the right place at the right time because I was just hustling.
You think that ball touched the ground?
Yeah, he caught it. Definitely.
Definitely. I think
It doesn't touch the ground.
No, I think so too. I'm from Pittsburgh. I think he caught it. It's right there at the bottom of the airport, right next to George Washington. This guy founded a lot of questions.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Replay assist would say no.
Franco, though, right next to him. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
We got the founder and the savior here. Okay, and that's how you kind of keep it rolling. Replay assist would have potentially said that thing skimmed the ground. But speaking of replay assist, 2024 is a wild time. We've been learning a lot, both through Dan Orlovsky's segments and also the evolution of what coaches have had. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach. Dan Orlovsky ran a little segment about VR with quarterbacks and how they use it. Is that something you guys utilize, and how often are you guys going in there and kind of getting mental reps or actual reps with the VR headset?
Yeah, it's become a huge part of a lot of the younger quarterbacks kind of have come up with it through college. And the expectation is like, let's use all the resources we have. So we have a VR program, and then we also, Sam and the rest of the quarterbacks will wear GoPros at practice, recording, kind of their vision point, the audio, all those things. That then in a year like this, where you've got your first round pick quarterback, doing great, by the way, healthy, getting to a great spot. Okay. But he's got a lot of reps he can take behind the scenes. In a year where truly he's getting the chance to grow and really become a master of the system without having to be, tested each and every Sunday for 3.5 hours against, NFL defenses. He's getting that time via all those resources. I didn't get a chance to see that with Dan, but I'm sure it was awesome. And that's part of what you try to do is maximize the technology and the resources. We got great owners that provide us with the ability to have a lot of those things. So it really is a tool that I think can steal a lot of time on task for these quarterbacks to get ready to go.
Dan will appreciate the fact that you just assumed it was awesome because he was a part of that. A lot of people don't do that
at all.
So he will be very thankful. Didn't even crack. Love that. That's good friend Dan Orlovsky. KOC, good luck this weekend and the rest of the way. We thank you for taking time.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Hey, turkey ham?
Turkey.
Mm-hmm. Stuffing, mashed potatoes?
Both.
Okay.
Boom.
All right, that's
Great answer.
Good call, Coach.
Apple pie, pumpkin pie.
Oh man, I'm gonna probably have some real things to answer for this, but neither for me.
Wow.
That's why he's got that.
Yeah, exactly.
Pecan?
Protein. He wants protein.
That WrestleMania performance, though, man, inspired me. I'm jumping on this bike behind me right after I get off.
You're the man. You saw some fat on me there. That came together very last minute. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, Coach.